Hey, there you are. Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. How are you doing? Oh, well, I was so glad to see that you signed up for this afternoon hike today. Yeah, I've really loved getting to know you and spending time together, and I noticed that you hadn't been on any of our hikes yet, so I'm so excited to take you out and show you some of the trails and get to explore and do a little bit of adventuring with you. Are you feeling good today? Oh, good. And have you been settling into camp? Are you enjoying yourself? Oh, well, that's good to hear. I noticed that it seemed like you'd been making friends and hanging out with quite a few different people at meal times and around the campfire. And I saw that you had signed up for quite a few different activities. So I was really hoping that you've been having a good time and, kind of getting in your groove and really, having a nice time here, because that's what we really want for everybody. Yeah, well, as your counselor, of course, it is part of my duty to make sure that you are safe and doing well. So it's extra fun when we get to spend a little one-on-one time together. So I'm glad we'll get to be together on this group hike today. I think it'll be really fun. Yeah. So I was just gathering together some of the gear and things that we'll need. Not too much. This isn't going to be too extreme or too long of a hike. We'll basically be following one of the nearby trails that goes down to a beautiful waterfall. And so we'll get to kind of hang out at the falls, which will be nice since it is a little bit warm today. And we'll be checking out a lot of the different native flowers and some of the edible and medicinal herbs that we might find along the path. I know that's something that you're interested in, and that's one of the areas that I really love exploring. So I'm excited to share that with you. And hopefully we'll see some birds and some different critters along the way. And so we'll just see what happens. I'm really excited. Yeah, cool. So you know me, I'm always very organized. I have a little checklist here of all the different things that we want to make sure we have ready. And I did bring some extra things just for you because I wanted to make sure that you were taken care of. So I wanted to start out just by checking in with you about what you're wearing. Do you feel comfortable, and do you feel cool, and do you feel like you have enough layers but not too much? Okay, yeah, I'm starting out with, just this t-shirt on today, but I do have my rain parka packed in my backpack. Do you have something in case we run into rain? Okay, yeah, there's not really any rain in the forecast today, but you never know what might happen, and so it's always good to be prepared for that. And are you wearing comfortable shoes? Okay, great. Yeah, sometimes people prefer to wear hiking boots. Sometimes people prefer to just wear their sneakers. Those look really great, but we just want to make sure that you're not wearing shoes that are too new or that you're not really used to yet, because, that's the worst, to be out enjoying yourself and then get a blister and, just start to not feel comfortable. That's no good. We don't want that. Okay, great. And did you bring a hat? Because it's always important to have some protection from the sun, and it can also help with the bugs. Okay, you didn't bring a hat. I thought that might be the case, so I brought an extra hat for you. Where did I put it? I know. I can tend to be a little bit motherly as a camp counselor, but that's just part of who I am. And I just got this hat recently. I have a whole little collection of hats that I always bring with me to camp so that I'm ready for any situation. And since I'm wearing this one today, I thought I would share this one with you. And you can see it's really nice. It folds up really small, so it won't take up very much room in your backpack. and it's this really pretty, cute blue color. And it folds out so that it's full size and has this really nice brim that goes all the way around, and it's got some ventilation here in the sides so that it's cool but still gives you a lot of nice coverage. And it has a chin strap in case you want that to help keep it on your head, or in case you want to, be able to take it off and just have it on your back. And that can also just be tucked up in the side, up inside the hat, if you don't want to have the chin strap. And it's just really cute, and so I thought that it would be perfect for you to have on hand today in case you need it. Okay, great. Well, you can never be too prepared. That's one of our mottos here at camp, of course. So I will just put this over here, and we'll make a little area of our things, and then we'll see what fits in your backpack, and if you need me to carry anything extra for you, I certainly do not mind doing that. Okay, what's on my little list? Okay, we talked about your clothes, and we established that you have a hat. I do really want to make sure that you have adequate sun protection, so I also brought this sunscreen for us to use that we can put some on before we get going, and we can also reapply throughout the day. Oh, you did put on some sunscreen today earlier? Okay, great. Well, we will have this then in case we need to reapply. This is Badger sunscreen, and it's the active kind of sunscreen, so if we start to get sweaty or it gets really hot, it won't wear off or run off. It stays on really well, and it has a nice scent. Yeah, it's just a really light scent, and it's got a nice consistency to it. It's not too greasy or anything. So, okay, cool. So we will have this sunscreen in case we need it. That's always good to have. Oh, I already have a few little buggers around. We'll get to that in a minute. But in addition to this sunscreen, I also brought a bandana for you, because these can be really nice to have if you want to tie it around your neck. That can help protect you from some bugs. It can keep the sun off the back of your neck. And then if you decide you don't really need the hat, but you do want to have something on your head, you can always tie it around your head as well. And that can be really nice to have. And I really like this one because it's this nice bright yellow color, and it's just, a good thing to have. You can also use it if you need to, wipe off your hands, if you need a hanky. They can come in handy for all sorts of things. So we'll put this over with your things as well. And then, of course, protecting ourselves from insects is an important part of any hike so that we don't get a lot of bug bites. I definitely have a few already, and that's kind of inevitable that we'll get a few, but whatever we can do to keep ourselves protected is a good thing to do. It's good to try. And I sort of have a secret two-part method that I use for protecting myself from bug bites, so I'm going to share that with you today. Yes, I take very good care of you. I actually use 2 different bug sprays. Yes, and I will tell you why. So this first one, this is Kids Herbal Armor, and it says kids. Basically, it's designed for kids because it doesn't have any harsh chemicals in it, but who of us wants any harsh chemicals on our skin? So I like to use it for myself, and I recommend it to everyone. And this one is a little bit more of a lotion in consistency. I'll show you what I mean. Shake it up a little bit here and get the cat going. But this one is a little bit more like a lotion, so when you spray it on, you can really rub it into your skin. I'll show you what I mean. Put that down so you can see that? It's kind of like a lotion. So you can spray it directly onto your skin or spray it onto your hands, and then really rub it into your arms. Here, I'll do a little more. Do a little more on each side. Rub it into your arms, and I usually do my legs and do the back of my neck, and just really get it into my skin, and it's not irritating at all, and it's got kind of a nice lemony scent to it, and it really does work very well. And so if you want to, before we head out, you can give yourself a good spray down on your arms and your legs with this, and that's a good layer of protection for your skin. But then since this one is more of a lotion, you can't really spray it on your clothes or, on your hat or your shoes or anything like that. So for a second level of protection, I have this other bug spray, which is called Bug Out Insect Repellent. And this one is more of a mist. So with this one, you can really just go crazy and spray it all over. You can spray it on your hat, you can spray it on your clothes, and just kind of get any parts that you might have missed with the other bug spray. And then it just sort of gives you this aura of protection all around you. And this one's called Woodland Mint. So it has a really nice spray. So I'll just give myself a little bit of that as well. Would you like some of this? Okay, let me just cover your eyes so I'm sure not to get any in your eyes. And we'll spray that around you there. Wonderful. Yeah, and I'll have this in my bag so as we go throughout the day we can reapply it if we need to. And it really does seem to work very well. So hopefully with both of these bug sprays helping us out, we can avoid too many nasty bug bites. And if you do get a few bug bites, I have witch hazel and rubbing alcohol and a lot of different things that we can use to help with them afterwards. So it is just part of the woodland experience. You just have to work with it a little bit. Okay, so let's see. We did our bug spray. Okay, I want to make sure that we have plenty of water for this trip. So I have a camel pack in my backpack, and I brought one for you too. Yeah, I have a spare, and I didn't know if you had one of these, so I thought you might want to use it. You can see I've had both of mine for quite a while because the label is kind of worn off of it. But have you ever used one of these before? Okay, well they're really cool because they're basically like this vinyl bladder, for lack of a better word, that you can fill with water, and you can see it's got this little closure that goes across the top, and it is quite watertight once you have that sealed. This isn't going to like bust open in your bag or anything like that. It's really great. And because this is a lot lighter than a water bottle and it's more flexible, it's really nice because you can slip it right into your backpack and it holds a good bit of water. And then it has this cool little tube that comes out from it to this little, I don't know what you'd call this, a little nozzle, a little mouthpiece that you can use to drink the water. And I disinfected this and everything so that it would be fresh for you. But that's really cool. So it's got this little cap that goes over it. And then that way you have plenty of water at your disposal, and you don't have to be carrying, like a clunky canteen or anything. You can just let this little tube kind of hang out of your backpack if you want, and then whenever you need a sip of water, you can just take it. So yeah, I think these are just so great, and they really make hiking and really doing anything outdoors a lot more enjoyable. I take this with me when I go to like an outdoor music festival or like an amusement park or anything like that, because it's just a really nice way to have a lot of water with you and have it be really easy. So yeah, so like I said, I have one in my backpack, so this one is all for you, and I can help you get it situated in your backpack so that it's in a comfortable position and so that you'll be able to use it in a really convenient way. Oh, cool. I'm so glad that you are into using this. I think you'll really like it. I think you'll enjoy the ease with which you can hydrate, which is so important while we're on the trail. Oh, here's the cap to this bug spray. Not sure if I had that before, but you don't strictly need it, but it's nice to keep the cap on there if we can. Okay, so I think that's all of our sort of like protective supplies, except we do have a little first aid kit. I always like to carry that with me. We're not going to be going very far, so I don't think we should need it. Hopefully there won't be any mishaps, but I do have this, and then Martin is going to be our hike leader today, and they will be carrying a larger first aid kit with them, just in case we would need anything extra. Yes, we always work together as a team, the counselors do, to make sure that we have everything we need to keep everyone safe. And we also want to make sure that you have plenty of energy on the hike, that you're not getting hungry or hangry or anxious. As I say, I always get. If I need a snack, sometimes then I start to get anxious and nervous, and we don't want that. So I know that all of you last night, as one of your evening activities, made trail mix. Is that right? Okay, so you have your supply of trail mix that you made? Cool. What did you decide to put into yours? I know they had a whole bunch of different things to choose from. Raisins and peanuts and walnuts and other dried fruit and M&Ms and coconut. They had a lot of cool things to choose from. What did you put in yours? Oh, that sounds delicious. That sounds like a great combo. Okay, so you have your trail mix, so you'll have that for a snack. And then I also brought along a little stash of these Annie's Crispy Bars. They're one of my favorite things for hiking just because they're really light, so they don't weigh very much, but they do give you a nice little boost of energy and some good fuel for the trail. So if you decide that you want a little something in addition to your trail mix, I am certainly happy to share my bars with you. And let me see, is there anything else? Oh, okay. Well, the one other thing that I wanted to have for us is a few reference tools for us so that we can be more aware about some of the things that we might see on the trail. So you know I'm really interested in herbs and plants and flowers, so I have a lot of that knowledge in my head that I can share with you. But as a few extra helpful little guides, I brought along this little fold-out pamphlet, which is waterproof, it says on the top, so that's great, which this is Common Butterflies of the Northeast. So in case we encounter any butterflies, and there is a place along our hike where we'll be going into a meadow where there are typically a lot of wildflowers, and I can help you with identifying the wildflowers, and then this can help you with identifying any of the butterflies you might see, and there are quite a few on here. It's both sides, which is pretty sweet. But the main ones that we often see when we're hiking are the tiger swallowtail, which are these yellow ones. We often see black swallowtails as well, so we can be on the lookout for those. And we often see these variegated fritillaries, which are brown and kind of look like a big moth, but they're really beautiful and cool looking. And then we do sometimes see monarch butterflies. It might be a little early in the season yet for them, but we'll keep an eye out for any monarchs. And I just thought this would be really cool for us to have in case we would happen to spot anything that we're not familiar with. this will give us an opportunity to try to look it up and check it out. Like I said, there's a lot of different butterflies in here. So in addition to this little butterfly guide, I also brought along one of my favorite books to have with me on the trail, which is this guide to the birds of Massachusetts. And there's a little chickadee on the front here. And you know, it's nice sometimes when you're out hiking to have, you know, the full Peterson's bird guide, which has like every bird in the world in it. And those are really interesting to kind of look at and, you know, just flip through. But when you are in a specific area hiking, I feel like it can be really nice to have the guide to the specific area where you are, so you're not having to flip through a lot of birds that you're obviously never going to see in the particular area where you happen to be at that moment. And I really enjoy this little guide because, first of all, it has really nice photos. It has these full color photos of all the birds, which are really helpful. You know, they're not just like tiny diagrams, they're big photographs, color photographs. And this book is also organized by color. You can see here along the top, there are these little tabs that are different colors, and it's organized by this in the front as well. So when you see a bird, you can look it up by its main color. So, birds that are mostly blue, birds that are mostly brown, birds that are mostly gray. And you can do that by color, which I just think is so helpful. So if you see a bird and you don't know what it is, you can start to narrow it down a little bit by the color that it is. Now, of course, there are quite a few brown birds, so, you know, this only goes so far, but that can get you into the right category, and then you can start flipping through the photos and seeing what you can see. And there was one illustration in particular I wanted to show you. Here, I'll look in the back. And this is really neat. It has this index in the back where you can check off all the birds that you have spotted. And so you can see that I've been doing that. And I have spotted quite a few birds over the last few years. But I wanted to look up, where is it? I wanted to look up the barred owl. Where's the barred owl? On page 167, let me find the barred owl, because as you know, we have been hearing a lot of barred owl calls in the evenings here at camp, and we've also been hearing them during the day. They've just been really active, but no one has seen any of them yet in any of the trees right here around the main area of camp. So I'm really hoping that maybe we'll see one today when we're out on the trail. Sometimes they're just, you know, roosting in the trees, kind of chilling out during the day. They might be back at their nests, but sometimes you can see them just kind of taking a rest. So I wanted you to see specifically what the barred owl looks like. And they're called a barred owl because of these bars they have kind of across their neck, and then they have vertical kind of stripes down their chest. And they're just so beautiful. They really are very majestic. And so I'm really hoping that we'll get a chance to see one. It describes the barred owl as a chunky brown and gray owl with dark horizontal barring on chest and vertical streaking on belly, large head with dark brown eyes. And the female is same as male, only slightly larger. I didn't realize that the females are actually larger. See, I learn things or remember things every time I come back to this book. And then as far as comparing it to other owls, it says it lacks the horns of the great horned owl, and it is our only owl with dark eyes. Yeah, you can see that the barred owl has dark eyes, and the great horned owl and other owls have yellow eyes. So that's a really beautiful photo of a barred owl. So hopefully we will get to see one in person. Yeah, there's the great horned owl, which looks quite different, has a very different head shape and kind of a different body shape. And there's just a lot of nice birds in here. And like I said, for example, if you see something unusual, like if you see a blue bird, you can look in the blue section and it might be a tree swallow, or it might be an indigo bunting. They are so beautiful. They're somewhat rare to see, but they are gorgeous. It might be an eastern bluebird, and we have seen some bluebirds around the camp earlier this season. There's a purple martin. There are just so many, you know, and the good old blue jay. There are just so many cool birds to be able to see. There's a purple finch. You can see the male up there in the corner who's more purpley. The female is more brown. There's a mourning dove. We see a lot of those around here. And this is one of my favorite birds, the catbird. Catbirds are so unique because they make these really, they can sing a really beautiful song, but then they also mimic other birds like a mockingbird does. And then sometimes they just go wah, 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 like a cat. This is where they get their name. It's supposed to sound like a cat meowing. So they're just a really cool bird. I love their tail. They have a very beautiful fan-shaped tail. So anyway, I could go on and on about birds all day long, and I would love to lend you this book if you'd just like to hold on to it for a while. Yeah, you know, you can take a look at it as we're, you know, taking breaks on the trail, and then if you just want to keep it so you can kind of read up on some of these birds, and then you'll be more familiar with what you might see as you're out and about around the campgrounds. Okay, cool. So those are our two guides. And that reminds me, I wanted to ask you, did you bring a notebook of any type? You know, we always have to. I have my little speckled composition book here. I always have a little notebook with me. Did you bring anything like that? Okay, well, I thought you might not have thought of that, so I actually brought a little present for you. I brought you your own little nature notebook. It's got this little strap on it here. It's a little crooked. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I'm kind of a notebook nerd, so I always bring a stash of these with me to camp every summer in case anyone needs them. I don't want anyone to be without a place to record their thoughts and their observances. And this one's really nice because it's a small size, but it's still very sturdy. And it has these lined pages in it and this nice little purple interior and a nice strap that keeps it closed so it's not flopping around. And you can use this, you know, to keep track and record anything you see on the trail, any of the plants or birds or animals you might see. We're sure to see lots of chipmunks and squirrels. We might see a deer. We'll see what else we might encounter. And, you know, and then just any thoughts that you have. If you have any ponderings while you're out in nature, or if you're inspired to write any poetry or jot anything down. I just find it's always nice to have a little record of my experiences at camp. And you know, you can use this as a journal as well, whatever you would like to use it for. And then you'll have a little memento of your time here. And it also can just be really useful as you're learning more about different plants and animals to have a record of what you've seen before, and then that can help you to identify things in the future. Okay, so I'll put this over with your things so that you can enjoy it, and don't worry, I always have a stash of pens as well in case you need something to write with. I have a few colored pencils too in case you feel inspired to sketch or make any little drawings of any things that we see. So I think I think we're all set, friend. Yeah, just get myself, make sure I'm all ready here. But we have all of the supplies that we need. We'll be protected from the bugs, and we have our sunscreen, and we have our reference materials. So, you know, I'm probably overdoing it. This isn't even that long of a hike, but I do think it's good to be ready for anything. And I'm just so happy to get to spend this time with you. It's just really been fun to get to know you, and you know, it's one of the special things about being a counselor at this camp is getting to meet new campers every year and build new friendships and new relationships. And I'm just really happy that you're here. I think you bring a really special energy and just a really beautiful spirit to everything that we're doing here. And it just makes me happy to have you as part of our community. So, okay, it looks like everyone is pretty much assembled. Everyone's just getting things gathered up. So I'm going to kind of reorganize my backpack over here, and you can do the same. I can help you do that if you need me to, and we can kind of share things. If you need me to carry anything for you, I'm happy to do that. And then we can get ready to head out. Is there anything else you need right now? Okay, well, I'm so excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a great adventure. Let's just get these things ready, and then we'll hit the trail. Okay, here we go.